We are live, guys!
Yay!
Yay!
Hi!
We're back.
Good to see you all again.
This is
So, guys, let me just explain that all this delay, it was because of my laptop. The sound drive had a problem, so I had to reboot everything, reinstall the sound drive, and here we are, back.
Yay! Thanks for
yay!
Yay! Guys, it's been so long.
It,
has been so
yeah,
long.
for us it was a month, right, since last stream.
If we miss one,
I just feel like everything in quarantine has just felt like it's been like a million years too. So
Yeah.
If there was any other situation, it'd be like, oh yeah, it's only been a month, but now it's like it's been like 40 years.
Exactly.
you're right. But you know what? I found it's kind of interesting. Now would be the greatest time to pitch Coil for people because they're at home and they have nothing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I seriously am going to write a blog about to the blogging community. Be like, hey, going out of your mind, blog for Coil. Make an imaginary currency.
To be honest, like my motivation has been so low, and I think that's been like
Yeah.
just been rolling through all the different like news sources and stuff,
Mhm.
and I've kind of hit that point now where I'm on the tail end where I'm like kind of don't care as much as I did. Like obviously it's a situation, but I'm just exhausted from checking it all the time.
Yeah.
True, true.
Now I feel a lot more creative.
Well, I have a request from you, sir, and it's I might go over the realms, the boundaries. So your sheep, are you going to shear them?
I'm not gonna shear them. I'm gonna get someone to shear them for us.
So does anyone know how to knit or anything with that wool that you're going to use? Or?
No, I think we're gonna throw it out. So I think you've got to like go through this whole process of like refining it and dyeing it and all that sort of stuff. Like it's a whole big thing.
I want you to knit me a sweater. That's where I'm getting at this. I want you to knit me a sweater.
Exactly.
My internet connection is so bad that I'm only hearing like
Oh,
pieces of business conversation. So I'm hearing like knit me a sweater, shearing. I'm like, wait, are we talking about Adam's beard or?
No, the sheep that he has, I want him, and in no way would it be creepy that if a full-grown man knitted another man a sweater and mailed it to him. In no way.
Well, we'll make it out of the yeah. That will make everyone happy. It won't be scratchy on your skin at all.
Guys, people
I've
are
got
saying,
Ozzy sweater.
guys, did you see the chat? People are saying that the sound is bad.
Yeah.
No, I think it might be your upload, Patty. I think what it is just how you're streaming. Oh man,
Is there a way to fix that, or is
it just is what it is.
No.
And how about now, guys?
Patty's is loud static. It's drowning you out.
Oh no!
Can you
Oh,
hear us
no.
again? Is this better?
No, they won't. Cass is here. Everyone's here. It's such a party.
Ah.
Who's Turdus McFlirtus? That's an
Colin,
amazing
Sound
name.
is-
Colin.
Oh, it's Colin.
Yeah.
Sound is really quiet for Nick, Lauren, and Adam.
Well
Wait,
then,
isn't there something? Wait, wasn't there something about streaming speeds being reduced in
Yeah.
the EU or something like that?
Well, you've got.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now it's okay?
Oh yeah, it sounds like it. Did you press all the buttons? You just gotta like grab all your fingers and just press down on the keyboard. That's how you fix it.
Everywhere.
problem.
Exactly.
Yes. Just press it
This
all.
is just gonna be a chill plan live today.
It's mainly just going to be Patty talking static and the rest of us just being drowned out. I think that's a good stream.
We can all hear each other fine, so it'll just be us laughing at each other's
Yeah.
jokes.
If this is our best stream, I will laugh my ass off because, like,
most number of viewers.
just
Well, we've got
Mhm.
9. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It just slowly stems to like 20, 40 people. We're just
Yeah.
like, is it working?
We've currently got more people that aren't us than us.
That's pretty good.
Ah!
That's impressive.
All right,
yeah.
let's cut down to brass tacks. Was that I say it? I said it right.
You
I
did.
think you got it right.
Do we need to introduce ourselves, or do we know
Nope.
who we are?
Cut the crap out.
the
Let's
bull-
get
yeah.
yeah. All right. So who's the first person? We're gonna go over our coil picks because we had so much technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Cass, great to see you in the chat. Look at me, talking like a veteran.
Amazing. You're a really good host. Producer Nick.
Patty B, Curtis McFlirtus. Classic name.
Classic.
Classic.
Yeah, exactly.
So Patty, who is the first person that we're going to be talking about?
Let me give a little peek. Okay, so we can go with you, Adam. Let me just put it up on screen. Give me just a sec.
You're louder than the static now. All right. Cool.
Take
Still
that, static.
Win.
But you're louder. The strange part is the static, actually, because I don't know. Like I was telling, it's raining a lot here, and I don't know if the sound it's the sound of the rain or if it's actual static. Not sure.
I mean, it's probably more likely to be the internet and static than
Yeah. I'm sure it's bandwidth because it's all pipes and tubes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hi, Lancia. Thanks for joining us.
So Adam,
Oh my god.
you can go.
Everyone
Hey.
Where you've got my screen up?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, I
So
have.
so my favorite post for this last fortnight was actually Benny's post. And so this particular post isn't like an incredible post in itself, but what it means, I think, is really, really cool. So basically what Benny has done is set up his own website that has comments and that we can see some great people have commented on this particular post. So it is a little bit weird in that to upvote Benny's post, you've actually got to click on like the little number when you see like in the range of posts. That's the only place that you can upvote it. But he kind of goes through like his coil earnings and the amount of people that he has. So because it's his own website, he can see like the user statistics, which is great. He can kind of infer like how many of those people are coil subscribers.
Yeah.
This is a really great, I don't know, like opportunity for everyone that has their own website to see like what they can do. Like really, it's kind of at this point crazy for anyone to not have this functionality set up for their own websites.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
Really exciting.
after I read that, I was like, I gotta get on that. But I'm almost so preoccupied with creating that I'm like, it's like honestly. So I equate it to like changing strings on my guitar. I should do it way more than I do, but when I pick up the guitar, the last thing I want to do is change the strings. I want to play a guitar song. It's kind of like this. It's like I should do this because this, you like what everything you just said. But when I get on my computer, I just want to, or created mode. I just either want to write or code or do something.
Yeah,
That is
thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I'm such a nerd. I so much prefer doing the other side of it than doing the creating part.
But like I personally love I totally get the argument between like having comments on Twitter because like that's somewhere where everyone can see them. But I also love that Benny has the comments in his own post and we can see like Patty has said something like that's now there forever. Like I'm constantly going back through Twitter going like, oh, I remember someone did something and trying to scroll through like my notifications or my tweets and replies.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do anything that isn't in the moment. And now Patty's comment is there forever. Like that's great.
Exactly.
yeah.
And it is better for like SEO and Google stuff as well. Like because if you write a post and then someone else writes a huge comment, that helps with all the Google searching and stuff as well. Like it adds more value to that page.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it. I think this is really cool. And so
yeah.
Thank you, Benny, for sharing so much with us. It's a great experiment. We can see all the back end stuff.
Yeah.
The post, I like it. It's my favorite for the fortnight. My fortnight fave.
So
Good
let
job.
me see what I have next. It's unique.
Woo!
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I thought she
Um,
said it's unique.
anyway, moving on. How do you pronounce this person's name? Because I don't want to mispronounce it. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
See it yet.
It's got the X in it. So,
Yeah.
Axie?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Throw me under the bus. Yeah, sure. It sounds right to me. Axie. Good. Go with it. But why I chose her is, first of all, she's really talented with her art skills.
Totally.
She just paints in kind of like Cass, but
Yeah.
only does like gaming type stuff. Why I wanted to point this out is because she's posted several of them. And I watched a video on YouTube and the Coil link wasn't hooked up. So I actually messaged her and I'm like, you know, you can hook Coil up to this, right? And she's like, had no idea. So
that's-
reason I wanted to bring that up
cool.
is people still don't know how to utilize this.
yeah.
Like, I mean, she, you know, doesn't know that you can link your YouTube
Yeah.
to your Coil account so that when people with Coil are watching it, that you
She's
get
also
more
not
revenue.
embedding the Coil, the YouTube into her Coil post either. So she's
Oh,
out on both ways.
right. Yeah, I totally didn't even forget that. Well, we got on, you know, she started messaging me and she's like, you know, you're better than Adam, right? And I'm like, I know.
Yes, I am.
It's very arbitrary that you would say that, but you know,
Whoa.
it's random that you would say that, but thank you.
So unprompted.
No, but I mean, honestly, I see this place as a landing spot for a lot of artists like Cass or her. And there's someone else I'm totally forgetting right now that does artwork and stuff like that.
Leslie.
But yeah,
Lovely.
Yeah,
Yep.
Leslie does it as well.
but they're all very talented. And I think that, yeah, I just think that with all this quarantine nonsense, and I don't mean it by nonsense, but like, everyone's stuck at home, this is the prime time for people just to get on the computer and at least do something productive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm last
If
to
you're not working full time still and living your life just like normal, just
Well-
remember that this is not
Hey.
a productivity opportunity. It's a pandemic.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you're not being productive, you know, don't. It's not like it's a requirement. Just want to.
How
It's
about,
okay if you're not.
I'm saying, let's say your job is closed down and you are not able to work and you're going out of your mind, then this might be a healthy outlet.
Yeah.
Is that better, Lauren?
Perfect. That's better. Thank you.
Okay, but if you, Jesus Christ.
Social justice warrior Lauren wants to remind you that this is not a productivity opportunity.
So another thing is, but like I said, I was, I'm the last one to speak because I was going to work on my game last night and then I got on Risk of Rain 2 and I made it
Yeah.
2 hours. I played for 2 hours. I stayed alive for 2 hours and I'm like, oh, that was a wasted time. Not the most productive way of my time.
Yeah.
By the way, it's on sale for 15
But
bucks
that's
on
okay,
Steam.
though.
You know?
It's like
Yeah, it's your relaxing time.
sometimes we need an outlet that's not productivity. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that was the last thing before I move on. You know what's so frustrating with posting on Coil is you never know what's gonna, like, I feel like I work the hardest on the coding stuff, the game, and it by far gets the least amount of like traction.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like if I write something about like that the article that I wrote about Grace being in,
Yeah.
the
yeah.
thick of it, that just went boom. And not to say that wasn't hard, but when I'm coding and trying to get all these mechanics to work and then I write about it, it's like a lot of time. And then people are like, and it's not, I don't take it personal because not everyone is a coder, they don't care. They're like,
No, I
well,
think that's a really important distinction about like what adds value to the reader versus time spent. Like time spent doesn't equal value. It's never equal
Right.
value.
Yeah,
We're not getting
exactly.
paid for our time. We're getting paid for the value that we give. And so those stories that you tell us, like that is something that we can take away immediately. Where with the game, like we're all just waiting until we can play it, and then you'll get your traction.
You know what's the worst? To buy the compiler to make it like an HTML, because I just bought part of GameMaker. It was $100 to get the one that is like to HTML compliant, so you can break it down to compile it. That it's like $500.
Oh no!
I'm like, I am so not gonna make my money back on this. Like, I get like a half an XRP for streaming it.
You've learned so much.
I know, I did learn a lot.
Yeah. So,
All right.
guys, are we ready for the next one?
13 viewers, get out of here.
Oh my god.
Google's gonna shut us down because we're taking too much bandwidth.
So, Lauren, you're up next.
Yeah. I forgot already who I.
It was really great.
It was amazing.
She's high.
I have not had coffee yet today. No, so I picked someone who was new to Coil. That's why I'm not remembering their name off the top of my head, but I'm sure you're sharing it.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So I just thought her post was really, really sweet because I think she's like 22 and was posting about like things she's learned in her 20s and how she's using this time to like start a blog. And I just thought it was really sweet, and I just wanted to encourage everyone to go look at her post because she's new to Coil, and I thought it was cute.
You know,
Sorry, I'm not remembering her name.
it is
Katera Combs. I don't know if
Yeah.
we say Katera
Cataract
like this,
Combs.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I followed her on Twitter too. She's got
So
more followers than me.
that's the first thing you go to, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there
pleasant.
it is. I can see it now. What my 20? Yep, there we go. Katera Combs.
Yeah. I
That's
love
what
that
I
her
can
last
remember.
point is I don't know what I'm doing, because honestly, like, who does know what we're doing?
Exactly.
Really, like,
Yeah.
anyone that thinks they are is probably wrong.
So
Because-
there's a couple of things
Yeah.
we should both ask. Like, you should ask her this, and I should ask that Axia. How did they find Coil? Because they don't look like they're crypto people. They really don't, and it would be interesting
Well,
to see.
I'm looking at her Twitter. She's followed by Sophie, so I have a feeling that they're probably
Oh.
friends.
Nice. Good job,
But yeah.
Sophie.
Now, you shouldn't assume things.
I'm such a stalker.
There's a saying about
Hey,
assuming,
Jet,
you know.
thanks for joining. No, what is it?
I'd rather not go into it. It's not important, but you know, something about making an ass out of somebody.
There's a. Never mind. I was gonna make a Gilmore Girls
you-
reference, but
you
I'll go
might have
over
noticed-
that.
You might have noticed in the comments that Matt Hamilton is there, and he
Mhm.
feels for you in the coding thing, because he goes
Exactly.
through this, spend hours coding, but it just doesn't relate necessarily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I go out of my way to read. Matt, I actually go and read every single thing that you post because I feel you, brother. Like, it's like and the funny thing is I dig his stuff when he puts something out. I'm like, that's awesome. But as far as like, I mean, I'm sure if it grew, like, that's the whole thing. Like, I always extrapolate, if Coil was a huge platform, what would my 11 upvotes be? They'd probably be in the thousands. But
Right.
you're not going to get that right now.
You got
So-
11, Nick?
On the game one, yeah, the game one only got 11 upvotes. And
I only got 11 as well for the baking blog, so
yeah,
Oh, what?
yeah.
no, it's, you know, I only cried for 20 minutes. And then I put my big boy pants on and I got through with the day. You know,
Yeah,
somehow.
I mean, it just goes back to, we either need to be adding value to our audience or adding value to ourselves. And if you're adding value for yourself, it's fun to do.
Well, here's what I took. There was an epiphany moment. That's a moment of realization, in case you didn't know. So, when I made the blog about Grace being a warrior and that one, and I posted it on Reddit's nursing,
Oh
man,
my God. Yeah.
they tore it apart, and I just like had this moment of realization that it's not like I didn't care what they thought. It was like then they were being vicious, like just like beep, 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 beep. Like I wanted to go, I always reserve I like when women are being catty with me, I call them cupcake because I always like the way that sounds. Like, listen here, cupcake. But I didn't. I kept it professional. But
I'm
Hey.
good.
What do you do? What do you do when men are being catty with you?
I say very vulgar words and then I cry. Why are you hurting me so? But they were just attacking me from all angles, and it doesn't matter because you don't know. And Lauren, you pointed this out too. Like, it's mob mentality. If it starts going down, then everyone's like, it's shit on Nick time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so,
Is that
what I'm
anything we're going to add to Plan Live?
well, no, what I'm trying to say is that was the first time that I looked at it like this doesn't matter because you can't take it personally. Anything you
Yeah.
post, anything, because somebody might have a bad day and they just want to rage on the internet. You can't take it personal. Anything that you post is subject to be shit on. And it's true, right? Like, anything you post, like, you could put out the best thing you've ever worked on. I always equate it to, do you guys know who Pearl Jam is?
Yes.
Of course.
I don't know. I don't know your generation, Lauren. I don't know.
I was sassy.
Is that sassy? Listen here, cupcake.
I was gonna say, listen
See?
here, cupcake.
But I think Eddie Vedder has the best voice ever. And there are a lot of
Just kidding.
zing. She's on it. But how many people hate that guy's voice, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna get that no matter what you put out. There's gonna be people that love it, and there's gonna be people that are like, "Oh my god, that's awful.
Yep.
You shouldn't even put out anything. You're awful," is what they'll say.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just like the nature of the internet in general.
I actually
like,
really like that Cinnamon has that web monetization kind of padlock. So really it just means like our little, like, my videos, only our little community can really see my videos. And I
Right.
really like that. So it's not open to all the trolls of the internet.
I like that too. I mean, the fact that I really do like the fact that Coil has not had a downvote or comments.
Yeah.
Because what are you adding? Very few negative things are like
Come from
nice, useful critiques. Right? Like, I applaud constructive criticism. But like when you were a couple weeks ago, Adam, or was it months ago? I can't tell time anymore. They're all days
Yeah.
now.
We
Yeah.
can't. No.
But when you were asking people, well, what do you want to see? And they were just like, "Rah!" And you're like, fuck. Like, what do you want? Like,
Yeah.
you were trying to be like, you had way more patience than I. Like, it was just like, what do you want? What do you want? Like,
I'm genuinely curious, but I didn't really get a proper answer from that question.
well, and it's nice too. I mean, to your guys' point about like we kind of like that Cinnamon's lockdown, where it's like you'd have to pay to be a troll, and
Right.
it, you know, that's fine if you that's your outlet, but then you're still paying me. To be a
Right,
troll. You're like,
right.
all right,
Right.
Go ahead, troll away. You're still looking at my.
Yeah, you are paying. Exactly. You are paying. So
Keep
perfect.
it coming. Yep.
wow, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah.
No, but
What's
I
your
would love
relationship
to
with your
see
product?
comments on Coil for subscribers only, not open to
Right.
everyone, of course,
Oh,
but for
I think that would
subscribers
absolutely
only.
make the most sense. So then people have, like, if they're like, I really need to leave this comment, then they have to subscribe. Like, it should,
That's a
if
good
comments ever
point.
come, it absolutely should just be for subscribers. And of course, people rage about that. It's like, well, you know,
Should we get to patties?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we've maintained a pretty good base, guys. Thanks for sticking around.
If
I
someone
really
calls me
appreciate it.
Cupcake or
welcome.
princess, I will cut you. Please don't. It's really condescending.
Who, me?
No, I'm just there's just a comment in the always say cupcake or princess depending on the person. Neither. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I do it as in a way. I don't mean it as a derogatory way. Did I open a can of worms?
No, I'm just a feminist, you know.
Matt is barbecuing. Okay, Matt, enjoy. See you
Enjoy.
next time.
It's-
Making a T-bone. Say you're making a T-bone, Matt.
So So what's your article, Patty? What are you excited about?
Yeah, let's go. So I have here Sophie's recap for the month of March. Usually she does a little recap every month, talking about what she blogged
I
about.
love her. I don't know her, but I love her.
And yeah, Sophie is the one that got me hooked on a podcast. It's the Murderino podcast. So
Yeah.
it's right up my alley, and I'm hooked on that. So that's awesome. And she has useful blogs about the tools she uses to keep herself organized. And this blog here actually tells us a little bit about everything. She talks about the boost payment as well, and
Which is,
that's
I think, her
awesome.
first boost payment.
Yes, it was the first
Oh,
one.
yay,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
exactly.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Totally. So yeah, like I think that's really exciting that she's sharing her first boost payment, showing that like really you can blog about anything. Like she's got a whole different range of topics that she covers, and like she's still got a boost payment, and like absolutely she should. Like I really enjoy her work myself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really exciting. It's really exciting to see all the different people that do get these boost payments and how motivating that is for people. Like it's really,
So motivating. Yeah.
Well, that's why I know I sound like a broken record, but if more people knew about this platform in the current climate, if you didn't have to work right now and you had free time, which a lot of people do right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm going to write a blog and just hit people that are blogging like, hey, come write for this platform right now, because there's not a better time. And going back with the Desmond's having a meltdown apparently.
yeah.
It's all right.
She wants to
Relatable.
do a blog.
She probably turned off the TV, and that was probably not okay with him.
Yeah.
When people turn off the TV.
So, the Murdering podcast, is that about murderers and serial killers, or
Yeah,
why is
yeah.
it so fascinating with our culture? Like,
It's so different. It's so outside the realms of everyone's normal everyday life.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. It's not something that I find super engaging, but
Yeah.
I know.
okay, let's talk about it.
Well, for me, it's kind of obvious because I have a master's in forensic science. So
Right.
yeah.
Shut
Wow.
up! You do not.
I did not know that. You're a liar.
I didn't know that either.
Is that funny how I go there right away?
Yeah.
You're a liar.
You're lying.
But back to Nick's point. So like lots of people aren't working at the moment, and I think like honestly we can assume that lots of those people won't go back to work anytime soon.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think the economy is just going to go straight back to where it was. So, and we might find automation starts to take over. Like I think
Yeah.
a lot of companies will use this as an opportunity to be like, oh,
Opportunity,
we needed the
yeah.
work done, so we automated it. So like Coil, like this is the time to start building up your Coil like
Right.
followers and stuff, because like work might be hard for some people to get back into in the following months.
I wanted to talk about that, but I didn't want to get it all doom and gloom. Like, I mean, honestly, well, like the numbers, this is bigger than the great, like, quarantine thing aside, now that this reaction of the economy has happened,
Yeah.
I don't think people have sized it up what it actually means on a global side. Like, you're talking more unemployment than the Great Depression.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's really hit. I wonder back in, what was it, Black Tuesday, when the Great Depression happened, I don't think people really sized it up when that first happened either. I think it took a while before people were like, oh my God, there's no work. I can't do anything, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, unless
I'm
you
sure-
have,
Now.
yeah.
And I guess like even for you, Nick, like, you're a teacher, like you might have to change the way you do things forever. I don't know.
No. Yeah, no, I mean,
If parents are struggling with their work, they can't necessarily pay.
I'll tell you, Adam, this happened last time when I was teaching in 2008 guitar
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say.
gigging. Like it's always hits the reset button. Like I had a full student load and it was gone, and it's almost like boom, start over again. But
Probably one of the
You know-
first things that get rates dropped.
Well,
Yeah.
and I don't take any to heart because what do you expect? You're you
It's
know,
not personal.
no,
Exactly.
no,
People have no money, so yeah, exactly.
right. But I mean, at least one of my wife's income, I mean,
That's
they're not
going
going to stop. They're not going to stop needing nurses ever. And that was what's crazy is the hospital that she used to work at is doing crazy sign-on bonuses if you go work in the ICU right now.
Oh,
And I'm like,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
healthcare is
It's
such a
scary.
weird, like, backwards field to be in right now. Like my company is doing really well
right.
out of the
It's
quarantine situation, which is just like
It's a little bit
painful.
wrong, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so
exactly.
hard. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well-
no one should be making a lot of money right
I
now.
know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Right.
Making
it's
like
weird.
the Slacks and the Zooms and the people helping us be productive. But yeah, like from a medical industry point of view, no one should be raking it in.
You guys
Well-
have the same situation probably there. Here, for example, 1 liter of alcohol that usually was around €2, €3. Right now, if there's stock, that most of the times there's not stock for it, it costs
Yeah.
around €35. From
Oh my
2,
God.
€3 to
What?
35. Yeah.
Are you talking about cleaning alcohol or drinking alcohol?
Now, the alcohol to sanitize your hands. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was totally thinking
Wow.
drinking alcohol.
And
See, aren't you glad I cleared
there's
that up?
a law here that says that upping prices now is forbidden, but
Yeah,
pharmacies
gouging,
and
yeah.
companies still do it because
You know,
there's no
here's-
control.
Here's no devil. I hate to be devil's advocate, but for everyone that claims they love capitalism, isn't that the pinnacle of capitalism? Right?
I hate capitalism.
Oh.
It's the
Oh, I
worst.
didn't. Yeah, but when people are like capitalism, let the free market. Well, that's the free market right there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You
that's the
technically-
free market. Yep.
You can
supply
and demand.
You want this?
That's
I'm
what they
supplying.
want.
This is my price. Exactly.
You want to pay $100 for an N95 mask? That's what they're going for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's what it is. Don't get me started. Why'd you get me started on this?
No,
Until,
but guys,
until Patty
about
is 3D printing masks.
Yeah, I gotta
about,
get her.
the masks. We had here a situation. This was a store, a regular store, grocery store. They were selling masks. A box of 20 masks, €150. So around $160, $170.
Wow.
Incredible. Yeah.
They
For
later
100 masks.
because after that
Yeah,
they
that's
sold
a
the
good way to
masks
inspire
and
the
they
mob.
sold out on top of everything. That's the worst part. They sold out the masks at that price, and then they came to tell people, okay, it was a mistake from our part. We are going to return the money to you. We are going to pay the usual value,
Oh,
but
wow.
because they were
Yeah.
fined.
It's looking at it as a social aspect of it. What I find kind of interesting is if this is only, let's say the numbers are right, and it is, 3 to 5% mortality rate, and that's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, look how society is handling this. It is. I would say this: you see the best in humanity, and you also see the worst in humanity.
Absolutely.
Like I am seeing both things, and they're heartwarming and frightening at the same time. And that's what's scary about it, because heaven forbid that it was. Could you imagine if it was 10 to 15%? I think society would fold up at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a person that has weapons in my house, but if it was at that rate, that's when I'd be like, time to get a gun. And I don't think about that way. But I mean, there are places in the United States that the local police are like, we're not handling local disturbances. We're not handling, house calls. We're not doing anything. We're just handling this. So you're on your own. So that's scary to think
and
about.
Cash just made a good point in the comments too. Like a lot of big corporations are like changing their production to like medical devices, and I think that really is just a good example of like what you're saying of this pandemic, as awful as it is really showing like how quickly and how efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
There's always an asterisk there. Companies and communities can come together to react to
Right.
something like, it's like, you know, climate change. It's like really not that crazy of an idea that we could all come together and change our lives drastically
Right.
to address something like climate change.
Well,
Which is
I mean,
a great example.
I think, like I said, this is, you know, this could be a moniker of not being like people that are choosing to be willfully ignorant in the current times. I think this is a moniker of that's no longer an option.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, just I don't have time for people
Yeah.
like, you know, like people that thought this was no big deal, people that choose not to think that it's a big deal, people that choose to think that global climate change is not a big deal. Like I don't have time for it anymore. And I don't, and I'm sorry, it may, if that comes across as crass or I'm being willful, like I don't want to engage in that anymore, because you're not helping. So if you're like, you want to engage in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sad.
Wrap the baby up.
No, we should talk more about stuff. You just want to go play with your sheep. They're like frolic.
Wait, Adam, did you actually get sheep? Or
Sorry?
is it just a joke? Did you actually have
No,
sheep?
No, it's true.
yeah, we've got 4 sheep.
Hey, Adam, would
Yeah.
you say you frolic with your sheep? Can I say
No.
frolic? Would a word
Do you
frolic?
have one of those staffs that have the little...
The crook.
Shepherd,
No.
shepherd's cane.
My arm. Like, go back, sheep.
How come you haven't sent pictures of your sheep to me?
I put
super
them
offended.
on my posts. I was too busy
Well,
sending
I would
them.
like them.
Okay.
But I don't know,
Um,
seriously, how are they handle you guys now? Are they more used to you, to the new home?
Yeah. Yeah. So because we've been feeding them out of our hands, they're always very excited to see us
Okay.
until they're finished feeding, and then they don't care about us at all. But there's a little lamb, and it's the cutest thing in the world. The little lamb, like, we'll feed it, and then you can just see it like chomping it, which is like the cutest thing.
What are their names?
So we've got Abby and Alana from Broad City, and then we've got Alexis, which is a character from Schitt's Creek, which is a great show. And then the one that we just got is called Ramona, so she already had her name, but she fits in with our little girl group.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So-
so we're not breeding anything, they're just eating the grass.
What animals are on the next to the list?
I think we've got our hands full. Like we don't
Ah.
have like a dog or a cat or anything. So we're like, no, we need to travel. And now we've got livestock. So we may have stuffed that up. But
Yeah.
I think these guys, like, we thought they could just like be in a field and just live their lives without really any interaction. We're gonna like put them to bed every night, which is super cute. But yeah, it means like we always have to be here. So yeah, probably.
You literally gave me a visual of you in a barn reading a bedtime story and then gently
sheep.
kissing one of the sheep on the head and saying, "Good night, my little princess. Good night."
Just patting them until they get drowsy. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
that's
do you
that's what
literally
happens to
count
me.
sheep before you go to bed?
Yeah, but we've only got 4.
So when is Lauren going to get sheep now?
It's the
I
end
have-
thing.
I'm gonna move in with Adam and
Yeah.
adopt his sheep.
Just bring the bus, and then you could just live. Like, we've got space. We've got
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
You're going to need a horse to manage the livestock, Adam. You know, when you take them out. You're going to be a
Yeah.
cowboy. Adam's going to be a cowboy.
When I was a kid, I was the horse girl growing up. So
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
really?
I took, yeah. I know.
Was
my
it
first-
dressage lessons?
No, it was Western. But yeah, my first email address was horsegirl91
Oh, really?
At coolmail.com.
Hotmail. Go ahead and steal that email address if you want. Oh my god.
All right, well, everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to
Yeah.
check us in 2 weeks, and for everyone that we picked, really interesting stuff, and spread the word.
Good job,
'Cause
everybody.
this is the time. And as for Adam to send you wool in the mail, because I really think there's something there. Like, just no, I
Maybe
mean,
for
like,
everyone.
imagine that you become like, remember those girls that were selling bath water? Like that?
That's
What if you just sheared your sheep and then you're like, here's wool, and people just started bidding on it?
Nick
I
would
think-
buy Adam's beard hair for sure.
Could you imagine like Grace walking in the room with me opening and just sniff? Oh yeah, yeah, that's the good stuff.
Yes, I can't imagine.
Hi, Grace. Sorry, Grace.
Is that too much?
I thought it was so much.
Guys,
All
thank you
right,
for
guys.
coming.
All right.
Bye. See you next
Bye,
time.
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
safe.